Joining us now to dive a little deeper into how this might all play out is Krista Mitzel. She is an employment attorney and human resources expert in San Francisco. Krista, thank you for joining us again tonight. So as we've said, there's certainly been a lot of confusion over the last few weeks about how to handle this. What are the challenges that you envision now that there is another ruling by Cal OSHA about mask wearing?
I was listening in today, Pam. Thanks so much for having me. And there was a really robust discussion about these rules and whether they should be revised or not. And a lot of concern was given to employee health, safety, the safety of guests and customers. And at the end of the day, they did vote 5-1 to revise the rulings. And there was discussion that if things change along the way, and if there is a surge or something happens this fall, the board can always go back and revise again. And so even though we're hoping that this will be the rule that we have for the time being, the system itself allows for them to take into account any changes that come in the science or our environment. So hopefully we'll have these rules for a while and everyone will do their part and we'll be able to rely on this for the coming weeks, months, and who knows how long.
Krista, as you know, Governor Newsom signed an executive order right after Cal OSHA's board voted to make these rules go into effect immediately rather than having to wait for the red tape. So with them now in place, people going to work tomorrow, unless you received an email from your boss saying that we've adopted them, it's sort of a piecemeal situation, it would seem. How do you see this actually playing out in the real world in workplaces?
Well, I think, Grant, I have clients who have been on top of this and had a plan in place depending on what happened today. I also have clients that are in a wait and see approach and want to see what happens in the coming weeks if there will be changes. And I don't know about you, but even today when I went out to the grocery store, I was unsure. Do I wear my mask? Do I not? How should I handle it? So I think that everyone's a bit tenuous, but there are definitely employers out there who are going to tell their employees, if you are vaccinated, stop wearing the masks. They have systems in place. They've created the appropriate plans to educate everyone on how to behave. And if folks choose to continue to wear the mask, which may happen, then they're not to retaliate against any employees who continue to wear masks, even if they are vaccinated. So you can't just jump to the conclusion that if someone's wearing a mask, they may not be vaccinated. Some people are taking a much more cautious approach personally.
I'm just going to jump in and just talk about the rock and the hard place that employees and employers are in the middle of in light of the fact that there's so much mask hostility that still exists. And some people who work with the public are still concerned. We keep talking about the Delta variant, which everyone says is quite strong. And even though many of us here in the Bay Area are vaccinated, there are many other areas that are not. People are flying in from other places who are not vaccinated. Describe what this means to be caught between these two different worlds.
Well, it's so difficult, Pam. And today on the hearing, they were talking a lot about this, that we are not out of the woods. So even though we're seeing hopeful numbers and evidence, and there is a higher percentage of folks vaccinated, you're right. There are areas of our state where it isn't as high of a percentage, and there still are concerns. And so a lot of the conversation today was about not taking it for granted, being diligent, getting vaccinated if you can, and really maintaining as much of the positive hygienic practices that we put into place. I don't know about you guys, but I was so lucky that I didn't even have a cold this year because we were all so safe. And so hopefully we can keep that up. But you're right, there are a lot of concerns. And with the self-attestation and trusting other people that aren't wearing masks to be vaccinated, I know that there are folks that are concerned that there will be people who are not wearing masks that are not vaccinated. And so I just hope that everyone in their communities will do the right thing and get vaccinated if they can. And hopefully we'll be able to see the positive effects this summer. And we'll just have to be prepared that if things don't stay the course, we may see more restrictions come the summer and fall as people are loosening up their nervousness around this and stopping wearing masks.
Yeah, yet another change that people are going to have to adapt to. At least this one feels positive. It feels like we're heading in the right direction. That is Krista Mitzel. Thank you for your time tonight, Crystal. She is an employment attorney and human rights expert here in San Francisco.
Yeah.